Isn't that awesome?
It's cool. I don't have the patience for that.
Well, good. You're not allowed to play.
I don't want to play.
Hey, everyone. How you doing? I'm Matt,
I'm saying,
and today I have one I've been waiting for a while now. I'm getting into 40K. I'm trying to get her to understand it. She keeps fighting me. Well,
not that I'm fighting you. It's that you're assuming I know what the heck this is, and I don't know what this
you kind of
is.
learn. Warhammer, goddammit.
What does that even mean?
Alright, so this is,
Okay, so hold
yeah.
on. Hold on. Originally, this was a board game?
Originally, this was a tabletop game where you had to, like, paint all your figurines. It still is today. But it was that.
Okay, so it's a board game.
Pretty much it was that, then books and video games and comics and everything.
Okay, and
It's pretty
the
much
newest
a new
thing that's going to be
universe.
happening with this is they're going to create a movie and possibly Henry.
Henry Cavill, who is a huge fan of this.
Yes, I know. So you're going to make me watch like a history video
Yeah,
of the backstory of what this universe
yeah,
thing is? Okay.
yeah. You're gonna finally enter the grimdark.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium exists the Empire of Man.
Yeah, okay.
Backwards
I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody axe.
carcass of an empire comprised of many devoted forces, gigantic robot knights, religious machine cultists, and incredibly heavily armored women, most likely with sweltering abs. And one must know what those abs taste like. Enlightenment has ended. The age of darkness has begun.
Awesome.
Roughly 60 million years ago, there existed aliens. These aliens lived short, painful lives. They belonged to radiation-stricken worlds and often died of various cancers before the age of 30. These aliens, the Necron tier, looked up to the stars and found extreme beings of real power. Beings with the ability to create life. The Old Ones of the galaxy. They asked these Old Ones for help. Please cure us of our ailments. To which the Old Ones said, piss off. So the Necron tier gathered together and did the sensible thing. They declared war upon these old beings and were promptly beaten into the dirt back to their short, painful lives. In the world of Warhammer, there is a hell. This hell is not like you and I know it. It's more of an afterlife,
the warp.
a place where dead souls end up. This place has many names: the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium, and the Ether.
Oh,
But
that was the
mostly,
warp.
we just call it the warp.
Oh, yeah, okay.
While you and I know
Isn't that
of
technically
hell
purgatory?
as a place
No,
of
not really.
horrors
This
and
is just straight up
punishment,
hell.
the warp
Okay.
isn't really that. Not in the beginning. It's energy, but the kind of energy formed from thought and soul, psychic energy, where the dead souls of people end up in a place that is impossible to understand. No laws of
so I can fly far, far, far away from here. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far.
reality exist. Like, time is merely a suggestion, and it is not something that can be braved easily. The warp would be like sailing the ocean in a pirate movie. To jump from your ship would be certain death. To stay in the sea for too long, and there are many dangerous things lurking in those depths. Yet, the sea is not evil. It simply is. Mostly. There are more malevolent beings in those
What, they're talking about hell?
areas that you do not sail towards. This would be known as the realm of chaos. The realm of chaos exists in the warp.
What's bro?
I'm just trying to absorb everything he's saying.
They were like the ancient people.
Yes, I heard that one. I heard the
They
ancient
look like
people.
Egyptians. Now he's talking about the warp, which is literal hell.
Okay. And then some sea thing.
No, that's just his analogy of like the warp isn't like evil or good. It just is. You'll get it as it keeps going.
You know what's gonna happen? I'll get it when they make a movie, and I get to watch the movie.
Yeah, but there's all this other stuff you can learn about too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
As a special area led by 3 chaos gods. Khorne, the god of combat, murder, and slaughter, with a pile of skulls taken in his name. Tzeentch, god of change, mystery, and deceit.
Who
a
made
confusing
this?
paradox of lies,
I think they're called
schemes,
Games
and
Workshop,
sorceries. And
the company.
Nurgle, god of rot, pestilence, and Genshin
What a
impact.
freaking
All
imagination with
faded
this shit.
rot
Yep.
in the end. And
It's
Grandfather Nurgle is waiting for you with open arms.
I love
These
Nurgle.
gods ruled their respective realm in the warp, sending their many
were they, like,
followers
tripping
against
out when
each
they
other
wrote
in the
this
great
and
game
Probably.
to be the
drew
most
this?
powerful of all the
Probably.
gods. So the warp exists. Hell is real, parallel to our galaxy, with the realm of chaos and its gods fighting for control. But
That's a creepy.
there
Yeah.
are also gods of real space, gods of the normal world too. They're called Catan, and they eat stars.
You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
These star gods saw the plight of our poor Necron tier and how the old ones cast them aside and
The
said,
Necron
"You know
tier, the
what?
guys he was talking
You
about
guys
first.
want immortality? Oh,
If
we
you
will make
think
it
I'm
happen.
following
We are the
this
gods of
right
tangible,
now.
of real
Well, give it a
things.
shot.
We can give you a cure."
No, I'll watch the movie.
So then they ate all
Because
their souls
if he's in it, I'll watch it.
and turned them into robotic automaton, feasting
Alright,
on
so-
their souls
so
and
lost.
leaving
What the fuck is going on out here?
a hollow shell
Remember the
of
pause?
an intelligence
Remember the
left that
first
is technically
group of people they were talking
with the
about?
power
Listen,
of an
what I'm
entire
gathering from this is that it's a bunch of different aliens, and they have different sections of this one's got skulls, and this one's got this, and this one does that, and everybody's got different powers. And then some type of fight happens eventually, I'm assuming.
On the tabletop.
extinction. The Necron tier, now the soulless, undying Necrons, got their wish at the price of their souls. But we can count the number of kind gods on an amputated hand. With time, the selfish star gods turned on each other, fighting one another for more chances at glory and power. With this, the leader of the Necrons, Zerich, the Silent King, the man who doomed his species
what I
when
just
he
said.
accepted this deal,
What?
waited,
But they all just fight each
planned,
other.
bide
Yeah.
his time until he seized the perfect moment and turned his legions of undead
like 40,000 years in the
citizens
future,
against
there's
the star
never-ending
gods.
war.
Gods cannot be killed, but they can be broken. So Zerich broke the star gods into thousands of pieces and locked them away in vaults, taking their free will away as they did to them, and sealed them away as basically Pokemon to be used as weapons in the future.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's the Void Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Zerich then, with his perfect memory, exiled himself for his sins, flying out to the darkness between galaxies to atone for what he had done. This entire situation, the genocide of the Old Ones and the rebellion of Zerich, will go down in history as the War in Heaven. It is the most brutal war the galaxy has ever seen and ever will see. This was a conflict that took an entire galaxy-spanning species and pitted them against gods that ate stars. The Necrons, rather crippled from, you know, the War in Heaven, decided to go to sleep in gigantic tomb worlds on various planets until the upstart species of the galaxy died out. And so turns out when you have a war that lasts tens, hundreds of thousands of years and involves the genociding of multiple species, the Old Ones of the galaxy, and the consumption of souls from an entire race, the warp gets a little wacky. You know, if you had a kiddie pool and it was nice and calm, Khorne is over there splashing about, so you don't really go in that direction. Nurgle has explosive diarrhea, so you don't really go in that direction either. But you can still kind of get in the pool's still fine. Turns out when you add a couple trillion souls to that kiddie pool, it'll make the waves a little more turbulent. And turns out a lot of them like to pick a side, Nurgle, Tzeentch, or Khorne. So the once calmer warp, the once relaxing kiddie pool has now been bloated. A million years of war will certainly make Khorne, god of murder and slaughter, more powerful. A million years of war will probably make Tzeentch, god of deception and change, a little more powerful. And good God, a million years of war will make Nurgle, god of decay, oh, just the tiniest bit more powerful. Now, entering that kiddie pool is no longer fun, it's dangerous. The warp is now a problem. Hell is resembling hell a lot closer to what we imagined it originally. The Sea of Souls and the Realm of Chaos are now intertwined. So who else to brave the galaxy than a species that won't need to deal with that? The Eldar are space elves. They have a lot of the traits that you probably think of when you think of elves. Tall, slender, pointy ears, a bit more androgynous.
No, he's
what DeviantArt will tell you.
Cavill's going to be a space marine.
Emotional side. The old ones, as I mentioned, could create life. And when they were getting, you know, absolutely bodied by the Catan and the Necrons, they made some new races to try to help them. One of them was the Eldar. It didn't save them, but they're here now anyway. Oh, and also the Orcs, but they're busy right now. The Eldar are a particularly psychically powerful race. So they were really adept at being able to handle the new turbulent warp of chaos and good at killing Necrons, hence why they went to sleep. Being psychically gifted is basically like being a wizard, but you get your wizard powers from hell. This is called being a psyker. And basically, if you want to do cool wizard shit like lightning from your hands or reading someone's mind, you can do that, but you siphon the energy to do that from the warp. Luckily, the Eldar are very good at handling this without too many negative effects because, you know, summoning power from the Sea of Souls with the new Chaos friends can be a bit of an issue. But Eldar are pretty good at it. And you see, what's really cool and also awful about Warhammer is that most developed species travel long, faster than light distances by going through that warp. They create a tear in reality to unreality and move through it. Faster than light travel? Cringe. We go through hell itself to deliver your packages. For those of you who play Minecraft, you know how the Nether is like a pocket dimension? So moving 10 spaces in the Nether is actually moving something like 1,000 in the real world. That's basically what warp travel is. Just much like in the Nether, there are a lot of things that want to kill you. The Eldar found a way to do so in between realities. Not regular reality, not the warp, something else. A purgatory of sorts, a fabricated psychic realm that allowed them to travel without fearing the negative effects of the warp. The Eldar were the perfect fit for the new galaxy, and they took it with open arms and pointy ears. The empire of the Eldar spread everywhere, and it spread all the way until now, the 21st century. That's right, while you were watching NPC streams on TikTok, the space elves were ruling the galaxy, and they did so for quite a long period of time. The 21st century came and went. Humanity grew.
Oh, here we are.
Grew all under the nose of their elf overlords. At this time, humans advanced, your classic sci-fi style way. We began to expand, colonize our solar system, terraformed our planets, created new and more powerful machines and starships. The age of Terra, also known as Earth, but we call it Terra here, was here, and existed between the 21st century all the way until the 15th millennia. Not much is known about this time, not much needs to be known. Humanity grew up, sought the stars. It's classic. Then came the years between 15,000 and 25,000, the age of technology, or to some, the dark age of technology. This is when humanity reached a new apex of technological understanding. When you think of sci-fi, there's a lot of things you can think of. Star Trek, maybe Star Wars style. You can
Things are getting crazy.
Dystopian. The age of technology was deep sci-fi, like a scientific prowess that fringed on magic. This is also when the first ever psychers began showing up in humanity. Individuals with the genetic mutation to be able to access the warp, and then because of that, travel through it. Humanity was no longer constricted to their early ways of travel. With warp travel, they could go anywhere in the galaxy. They equipped ships with gigantic AI machines, with everything you would ever need to know about mankind, and sent them out on colony ships to expand their influence across the galaxy. This was truly the golden age of humanity. And with every golden age, there is a fall. While the new human upstarts of the galaxy were reaching new levels of technology and prowess,
Yay.
Eldar were
The
engaging
fun
in
parts.
What happens when a species has everything? You can produce unlimited food out of nothing. Your need for farmers and workers, gone. You have dominated the stars and have created a fast travel system that doesn't rely on the dangers of the warp. You have nothing else to do. You have no struggles, no problems, and feel as if there
Sounds
is
nice.
nowhere else to
Yeah.
go. Well, you begin to experiment. The Eldar started harmless enough. You know, you take a serious interest in your species' culture. Your
What they turn
arts,
into?
paintings, poems, plays. These
So
are
you
Eldar
start
elves,
experimenting, so what they
remember?
turn
Their
into.
emotions are heightened, more powerful than us humans. So your plays get louder. They start to push on the limits of your hearing ability. Your music becomes different, more deranged. It pushes the boundaries of what is art. The visual
sounds
spectacle
like
of
now.
art becomes more bizarre, more delusional, more eccentric. And let's not forget a very important sense. Touch. Pornography is one thing. Brothels is another. What if they all mixed? What if your brothels were part of your art and music? And what if those became more deranged? The boundaries of debauchery were not just met, but shattered. Next thing you know, murder is commonplace and often mixed with the art, music, and
just murder
sex.
everybody.
Pain is a common byproduct of entertainment. Whatever sensation you can have must be increased, must be enhanced, must be taken to the limits. The Eldar Empire slipped into a nightmarish realm of debauchery and excess, with the worst of it taking place in a city in the Webway, a black market for these kinds of heinous acts known as Kamara. Some Eldar saw the writing on the wall, saw what was happening to their species and how far they had slipped. So they boarded continent-sized starships called craft worlds and left their empire, seeking a more enlightened, calmer existence among their peers. Some, those in Kamara, pushed it to even greater heights, relishing the pain and torment they inflicted on those around them. All during this, the warp, the yin to the yang of the world, was fed by these emotions, by the psychic power of the Eldar, by the souls taken in these depraved acts on a galactic scale. And
Warp's
just like
getting
that,
crazy.
Eldar ended. Slanesh, the fourth chaos god, was birthed into existence and consumed the souls of 90% of the Eldar population.
Jesus.
Those that fled were spared the worst of it, and those in the Webway and Kamara were able to stave off the pull of Slanesh so long as they continued to commit horrid acts of torture and violence. But for the majority of the Eldar, their empire died with Slanesh's birth. The new fourth chaos god, she who thirsts, the god of unspeakable excess of pleasure,
like her.
pain, hedonism, and perfection, had been
They're all
born.
pretty cool.
With
I
the
don't like that
fall of the Eldar Empire came the ruin of humanity. Slanesh's birth sent storms in the warp across the galaxy, making travel between star systems impossible. Coupled with a huge classic AI rebellion, as a staple in these sci-fi
Terminator.
settings, humanity began to suffer
Yeah.
an age of strife. Now, planets that relied on intergalactic travel were completely cut off. Long-range messages, normally sent through the warp, were snuffed out. If you were a planet that was great at mining stuff, but couldn't get food, well, You know that movie about the rugby players in the mountains? Oh, and because of these
Rugby
insane
players.
warp storms and fluctuations, psychers began to appear among the human population a bit more often. Now, this initially had them hunted down as witches, because that's pretty common in this setting, but
Yeah,
some
that's so
deemed it
the
right to
warp got
protect
crazy,
them.
so there's like more
Unfortunately for those
magicians
people,
out there.
psychers, because they open a gateway to the warp, don't
Yeah,
really know
to
how
use
to
their
use
magic at the
powers
open gateway
well,
to
and
hell,
they
pretty much.
kinda
Well, he
attract
said everything was
demons,
cut
who
off.
then
Yeah.
They
force
reopened
their
it.
way through the psyker as a conduit of sorts and begin to slaughter the population of your planet. The Age of Strife was a catastrophic period of time for humanity and set back their progress tenfold over the not one, not two, but 5,000 year period. During this time, the age of humanity that we know began to form. Worlds equipped with large mechs from
Hell yeah.
agriculture began to equip them with weapons to defend from alien and demonic invaders. Over 5,000 years, this became a custom and tradition, dubbing them as night worlds, a feudal society of honor-bound knights in gigantic robots that uphold the chivalric code to defend their worlds and honor. A group of individuals on Mars, after radioactively bombing their planet to become inhospitable to human life, ran their entire lives underground on the few life support systems keeping them alive. Those technicians who could work on the machines and keep them operational were revered, and over 5,000 years went from skilled members of society to full-blown priests. The cult mechanicus, or tech priests of Mars, formed in the ashes of the Red Planet with a religious fervor and doctrine on
Their
the
mechanics
cult of
love
the
it so
machine
much they
god.
pretty
And
much
on
become
Earth,
priests.
or Terra, techno-barbarian tribes waged war across
Aw.
the planet in a Mad
I
Max
guess you'd be
style
praised
of
for
blood
keeping
and gore.
them
Yep.
alive.
Finally, a
Pretty much.
mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed himself to the populace. His name was the Emperor. He deemed himself the Emperor of mankind. Where did he come from? I don't know. Why is he 10 feet tall and the most powerful
Well, he's been
psyker
around
of
for
all
millions
of
of
mankind?
years.
I don't know. Why is he basically immortal?
but where was he?
I don't know.
He was
Where
hiding.
Cotton Eye
It
Joe
went,
go?
like, in with
Who
the
knows?
population.
But he's here, and he isn't happy with all of you ripping up Terra. So he began the Unification Wars, where he and a very early version of the famous Space Marines, the Thunder Warriors, reunited Terra under a single banner. With blood. Then, after taking over Earth, he reunited the Thunder Warriors into the fucking dirt. This is where we get the Imperium of Man, also known as the Imperium. The new faction headed by the Emperor of Mankind, with a treaty signed with the cult mechanicus on Mars to spread out and reunite humanity after the catastrophic Age of Strife. But first, the Emperor is going to need some smaller versions of himself. 20 of them, 18 of them, I meant. Gene-crafted sons of the strongest human to ever live. All of them possess unparalleled strategic power, intelligence, formidable strength and size. A real powerful force to unite humanity and stop the chaos of the current galaxy. Speaking of chaos, you ever seen that image of that guy? It's like throwing the baby like a basketball. It's about what happened. The Chaos Gods intervened and grabbed the 18 Primarch gestation pods and yeeted them across the galaxy at a whim, everywhere they could possibly go. A galactic game of keep away. So the Emperor had to get them back. So begins the Great Crusade. A crusade across
Chucking
the
babies through
stars
space.
to reunite not just humanity, but the Emperor with his fallen sons. The first to be found was Horus, one of the strongest and most noble sons. The Emperor carried with him a legion of newly crafted warriors with genetic material made from their Primarch father. These are the newly made Space Marines.
That's what
Horus,
Cav would
his
be.
were the Luno
Space Marine.
Wolves. And as the Emperor continued
The
on
son?
his Great Crusade, he
Or
found
just
more
one of these
and
random
more
ones?
of his sons, reuniting
No,
them
he,
Yes, we
into
don't know yet.
he might be a
individual Space
Primarch.
Marine legions. Leman Russ,
The Primarchs, so there's the Emperor of Mankind, right? And there's the Primarchs, which are like just below him.
Yeah, he made 20 sons or something.
Yeah. Oh, it got a little better, right? The beginning was rough.
Once the elders came about,
Hey, look at you.
it got better.
Look at you knowing the names.
That was it. It was the before then. He just like
Yeah, it's a lot.
way too much.
Yeah, well, it's like, what, 40 years of history or something? Since this whole thing started? I don't know. It's like pretty much learn all of Star Wars in a half hour.
No.
Yeah.
The cunning hunter with the space wolves, Rogel Dorm, the phalanx,
He's going
the
over
imperial
Primarchs.
fists, Angron, the barbarian, the very angry, with
Meaning
his
the 20
world
sons?
eaters,
Yeah, and
Thygrim,
he's going over the
perfect,
20
with his
Primarchs
emperor's chest,
and
Jagatai
who,
Khan,
like,
the
his
swift,
crew
the stoic, and his
under him.
white scars. Those were just some of the 18, and one by one his lost Primarch sons were returned to him, and their Space Marine legions returned to them. The Great Crusade saw humanity once again reconquer the stars, returning worlds of humanity back to the Imperium and killing any and all who stood against their noble crusade. But in the years of the 31st millennia, treachery would break
Horus,
this
you
all
bastard.
apart.
We don't know what we did.
Horus, the Emperor's most beloved and favored sons, named War Master for the Crusade, succumbed to the power of chaos and daddy issues, all because of that bastard Erebus. Yo, fuck Erebus. Slowly, Horus would become corrupted, turning the Emperor's sons against him. This begins the most pivotal moment in our story, and the one that has like 50 books written about it.
That's the book I ordered. That I was like, oh, I'll start reading a book. And it's like, it's one of like 50 books. I'm like, there's no way I'm reading all those fucking books.
No.
It's,
Heresy. Half. 9 of the 18 Primarchs turned against the Emperor, and the following years were a bloody battle for the throne of Terra. The Emperor originally was working on a special webway project, just like the Eldar, to make faster-than-light travel significantly easier and safer, really improve humanity to allow them to conquer the stars without the risk of the warp. Well, this big red idiot named Magnus kind of blew a hole into that, literally and figuratively. So Big E over there is stuck on a gigantic golden throne, holding back the oncoming rush
That's the
of
Emperor.
demons and powering the Astronomicon, basically a big North Star for people who are sailing in the warp to help them navigate. The Horus Heresy saw many loyalist and traitor legions pitted against each other in a bloody war until it reached Terra itself. Horus, unable to break through the lines and with time running out, made a gambit and opened his ship up to be boarded. The Emperor took this challenge, quickly allowing someone else to take control of the throne as he teleported his way onto Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit. The Emperor, unable to truly kill his most beloved son, changed his mind right quick when Horus strangled the life out of his other son, Sanguinius.
Oh no!
I'm sure you've seen this image at some point. The Emperor then said, "I'm not gonna sugarcoat it," and proceeded to psychically blast Horus into complete oblivion, killing not only his body, but also his soul. Horribly wounded from this duel, the Emperor is returned to the Golden Throne in order to keep the demons at bay and power the Astronomicon, because without it, humanity would be flying blind. There he sits, slowly dying from his wounds and the strain of powering the Golden Throne. The only thing keeping him alive is feeding upon the souls of 1,000 psychers every single day. This was 10,000 years ago. We are now in the 41st millennium, modern day. Warhammer 40,000.
He made it.
The Emperor remains on his throne. The Imperium is a rotting carcass of an empire, a fascist, xenophobic cult that worships the Emperor as a deity despite him never wanting to be seen as a god. Over the span of 1 million worlds, the ecclesiarchy, the church of the Emperor, is spread throughout. Inquisitors with unparalleled power root out any sign of heresy or lack of devotion to their god Emperor. The other half of the traitor legions move about as Chaos Space Marines, raiding and pillaging the Imperium, while the loyalist half does their best to keep the Empire alive. All throughout this, they must endure Orc invasions, Eldar trickery, the reawakening of the Necron race, and the Great Devourer, the newest tyrannid threat from the darkness between galaxies that has arrived to feast on their worlds. The theme of Warhammer 40,000 is regression and intolerance. Every major faction in Warhammer has had an empire that spanned the galaxy only to be crushed back to a hollow shell of what they once were due to their own failings. Culture, the arts, personal freedom, religious tolerance, the simple possibility that alien life might not want
Isn't
to
it
kill
awesome?
us is considered heretical and
Yeah.
is often
You'll
met
like
with a
it.
pistol to the
I'll
head.
get
There
you
is
like
no
it.
time for these things. All there is time
You know what
for
it is? I
worship
think
of the
it's
God
just
Emperor
this
and
video.
a million wars to be fought.
It's
To
just
be
killing
a
me.
human
You
in
had
the
to get
41st
into it.
millennia is
There's
no,
99%
like,
easy
time
way
to
to-
live a horrible existence. To be
Just gotta be
one
thrown into
of
it.
trillions of other humans across a million worlds throughout the galaxy. A galaxy where AI is outlawed.
Like, you just put me
so
through a
humans
history
are
lesson at
repurposed
Yep.
on lobotomized
1
to
o'clock
become
in the morning.
slaves. A place where
It's not
lack
1
of
o'clock, it's 1:30.
devotion is met
Oh, no,
with
it's 1:30
death.
now.
And if you even have devotion, there's a good chance the threats to the galaxy,
Keep
chaos,
learning.
and aliens will kill you anyway. Warhammer is a world where you revel in being bad. There are protagonists, there are antagonists, but every faction is some shade of evil. Because playing the bad guys is always more fun. And my friend, you have a selection. So pick up that las gun soldier. You and the other 3 million men and women in this single
gonna be a
deployment
big movie
on
if
this
they do it right.
single world in this single battle will
Well,
now
didn't he
show
say
them
that
the
he would have a
might
say
of
in
the
how they
God
write it
Emperor.
or
That
something?
Yeah.
weapon in your hands has killed 99% of the alien populations in this galaxy. Unfortunately for you, soldier, you're fighting the final 1%. May the Emperor be with us. Glory to the first man to die, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
The fact that people that get into the actual physical board game have to learn all of this from an instruction manual book
Yeah, hold
that's
on.
probably like this thick.
Hold on. I'll show you what, like, just what the tabletop looks like for one of these.
I've seen it.
Have you?
I think I've seen Henry's, whatever the hell, where he plays or whatnot. It's insane.
Alright, so we're just showing her what some of these games could look like on the tabletop. Just a quick glance.
I spent 60 hours playing one board game. Over 10,000 miniatures were used. This has never been done before, and I have the old man pains to prove it.
And they have to put all
What you're
those
seeing
together
right
and
now
paint them
is
all.
an actual game that people play. Crazy, right? This is Warhammer 40.
This is how it started.
The players are called wargamers. They could literally be anyone you know. And I'm one of them. This board game is technically called a tabletop miniature war game, kind of like Risk or Battleship. I wanted to play the largest game that's ever been seen, and I needed an opponent who could match the sheer volume of miniatures I possessed.
That's
Enter
ridiculous.
Kyle Bricky, owner of Gear Guts
It's
Tech Shop. This man
awesome.
not only 3D sculpted and created his own line of miniatures, he printed them, assembled them, and painted them. That's right, every mini you see on this tabletop was
Isn't that awesome?
It's cool. I don't have the patience for that.
Well, good, you're not allowed to play.
I don't want to play.
The boys gotta get older so I can play with it.
Oh my god.
Alright, so yep, I'm gonna keep just pushing Warhammer stuff on you, alright?
Aren't we done with Warhammer?
No.
Minis?
It keeps going.
What are you talking about?
They get like into like the nitty gritty stuff. Like what's the servitor? Who's Gilliman?
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Alright, like, share, subscribe.
When are they gonna do that movie?
I don't know. Soon, maybe. He's gonna be a custodian, I think.
You said he was gonna be a
No, the Space Marine.
Yeah.
But there's a better Space Marines. They're called custodians. Bye.